The tropical Western Pacific today is just absolutely on fire. We have the three-name storm system, Francisco, which moved on shore yesterday across western Japan over through Kyushu, mainly around the Miyazaki region. Just saw a tremendous amount of rainfall. Also, Lekima, just towards east of the Philippines, and now Crosa, which is bringing some heavy rainfall across the Mariana Islands. In fact, flash flood watches and warnings have been issued for areas on Guam. So, I mean, you just got so many impacts. Not enough to cover everything in this video, but if you do have any questions afterwards, I'll try to answer them as best as possible. Let's start off, though, with Lekima here, just towards the east of the Philippines. News is that the track with this storm system continues to waver more and more west for those of you at Okinawa, but for all of my friends in northern Taiwan, well, that's not great news at all. In fact, this is a pretty large storm system. It's got a lot of moisture with it, so a very classic system that would bring torrential amounts of precipitation to northern areas of the island, including around Taipei as well. Ishigaki may even see the right front quadrant of this storm system as it moves overhead. Based on basically ensemble models, they're coming more and more in line. I've shown this particular graphic in my last three updates. Before, this was a lot more spread out. Now it looks like all these lines are coming together, but still not 100% on the time of recurvature here, though. So, if you now, I would still keep a rather close eye on this storm system. In fact, let's look ahead through Wednesday into Thursday. This is the European model pulling it off towards the north. You still get some of those outer rain bands with it, but really does look like some of the bigger impacts are going to be on Ishigaki and northern areas of Taiwan before it moves off, and probably brings some impacts around the Shanghai area. But, I mean, just look at this. Let's pull back the picture here. This is in a bigger, more kind of just a widespread view, big issue for the Philippines. Because you have two systems here, both picking up moisture, and they're pulling that moisture from somewhere, and it's really the South China Sea over through the Philippine Sea, and it's streaming all of that rainfall across the Philippines in a form of the habagat that it's just pretty much on steroids. We got two systems which are going to continue to drag that moisture in. This is, by the way, total precipitable water. It's microwave imagery, and it basically just lets us see how much moisture is in the atmosphere. So you got Francisco off here towards the north, you got Crosa right in here, and you got Lekima right in there, which just containing the bulk of the moisture, and a little vorticity just off the west coast of the Philippines, helping to kick up that rainfall as well. So I know if you're in Manila, just boy, it has been raining, and I'm sorry, but it doesn't look like going to get too much of a break here in the near future. I mean, you can just see the total rain totals here. We're talking about 500 millimeters of additional precipitation throughout the rest of this upcoming week. I mean, that's flooding and landslides, at least urban flooding there around the NCR, specifically north of Manila. You could be seeing some pretty serious conditions here. So I know there already has been some deaths due to flooding and landslides and just additional rainfall from these storms, even though they're not directly impacting the country. They're problematic here. Also, we have Crosa, which, like I said, continuing to impact Guam and the Mariana Islands. Much like Lekima in the Philippines, not directly hitting the islands, but that moisture inflow continuing to stir up things there. This is expected, by the way, to become a typhoon moving across the Okinawa Islands, which is part of Japan. It's right in here. You got a few thousand people that live out there. They're used to typhoons. But this one looks like it's going to be right overhead. And eventually, I mean, look at the cone of air on this. Just because of the interaction with everything going on out here, it is really low certainty on where this is going to go in the long run. If I was in Tokyo right now, I would keep a keen eye on this. I'm just saying. All right, so we got three systems. I could probably spend a good hour talking about each one of these. I mean, you got Francisco still moving over towards Busan, a shell of its former self, but still bringing some impacts out there. You still got Lekima pulling off towards the northwest, and of course Crosa here. And I mean, just overall, it's so active out here in the tropical Western Pacific. So, yeah, I would love to answer some of your questions if you got any down in the comment box below. Yeah, this is a quick update there. I think in short, Okinawa, keep still an eye on it. I mean, the system looks like it's going to move towards your west. Northern Taiwan, yeah, I mean, Lekima is still impacting you, definitely. that moisture flow into the Philippines, Guam, the Mariana Islands. You're still seeing that heavy rainfall out there. That's going to stick around for another day or two. And then Francisco, at least that's moving out of the way for at least the time being. All right, guys. Whew. Oh, by the way, thanks for everybody that gave me some pretty good feedback on job options out there. I still thank you guys a lot for that. If you still have any good information, know anybody that's hiring, let me know. All right. Stay safe out there.